Hello, it's Lorna Wagner. I'm the Programme Manager for Careers and Outreach for Maritime UK, and I'm joined this afternoon by an employer and two representatives of the Gosport and Fareham Multi-Academy Trust. I wonder if I could just get you each to introduce yourself. Chris, could you tell us who you are, your job title and who you work for, please?
Yes, good day to you all. I'm Chris Willis, Executive Trust Leader for Personal Development and Community Endeavour at the Gosport and Fareham Multi-Academy Trust.
That's quite a long job title, isn't it? And Roy, could I ask you to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, so I'm Roy Howarth. I'm an engineering manager. I work for Airbus Defence and Space in Portsmouth, and I've been an enterprise advisor since around 2017. And for the last year, I've been the enterprise advisor for Gosport Fareham Multi-Academy Trust.
Fabulous, thank you. And Sarah?
Hi there, I'm Sarah Heisman and I'm the Careers Leader at the Gosport and Fareham Multi-Academy Trust.
Lovely, thank you. So I think if we could start off by talking about what an enterprise advisor is. So Roy, could I ask you to describe that to us, please?
Yeah, so the scheme was set up a number of years ago, and the principle behind it really is to bring somebody from business into the educational setting, and the discussion for those two sides is around something called the Gatsby benchmarks, which are defining what careers advice and a careers curriculum can look like in a school. So the enterprise advisor brings the business side, and I talk with people like Chris and Sarah and other people in the school, and they obviously bring the input from the education side. And the purpose for me has always been to build that bridge between education and business, well, hopefully that's what we've achieved. But even having built the bridge, it still needs constant maintenance.
Like the Forth Road Bridge. And Sarah, from the trust's point of view, how do you see that relationship with your employer, with your enterprise advisor?
It's really important because obviously what we're doing from a careers team point of view is endeavouring to make the students ready for the world of work. And what we need is for people from the world of work to be working with us to make sure we're doing the right thing. And Roy is a very trusted friend in that. I mean, we look to him to poke at what we're doing, and to give us the benefit of his view of life as being on the receiving end of students coming out and into the world of work. So it's a really important relationship for us.
It's a frustration, isn't it, when you when you hear employers saying we can't employ the people with the right skills that we need, if those employers aren't also engaging with education to help shape the careers programme that helps produce those people on their way into work. So the maritime curriculum, Chris, do you want to talk to us about that a little bit, please?
Yeah, I will do, and I'll just touch upon briefly what you just mentioned there as well in terms of those important skills. So one of the things that sits behind me here is our Gosport Future skills, and they are designed as part of the Skills Builder framework that national employers have put together, that we in Gosport have adopted as well with our network of business and enterprise advisors as part of our GFM Business and Education Forum, and Roy is very much an integral part of that. And one of our aims is that with the organisation, the education organisation alongside business, that actually those 8 skills remain fundamental, not just to a child's experiences and development throughout school, but actually become a really integral part of their lifelong learning as skill development within employment. And so these 8 Gosport Future skills remain integral to our town's community and business. And I suppose really that takes us on, Lorna, to kind of the fundamental thing really about living in Gosport and living on the peninsula. You know, as a Londoner, I was fresh out of London a couple of years ago, and to my surprise, being here in Gosport as executive head teacher for some time now, it was a huge surprise that we didn't have kids learning on the water. We didn't have children actively engaged with the water that surrounds our peninsula. And there was lots of reasons for that. But one of my biggest drives has been to work with business, to work with our local organisations, to really ensure that we can get children actively out in the curriculum on the water on a daily basis. And I'm delighted that, through the work that our business and enterprise advisors have been able to do with us, and the work that Sarah and the team have been able to do, has really pushed forward that marine agenda, that marine and maritime agenda, so that this year, for the first time, we're going to be having and launching a vocational post-16 qualification in marine and maritime in partnership with Andrew Simpson Centres, so that from September we'll have children actively learning and developing and having those refinement of skills that are so vital to our peninsula.
It's amazing how many young people I talk to that end up in the maritime sector who talk about a love of being on the water is what inspired it. It's either, most commonly, it's either my dad was in the Navy and I didn't want to go to sea, but I wanted to work in the sector, or I just loved being on the water. And once that's grabbed you, that's it. It's caught you for life. So Sarah, I know that Roy is not the only employer that you work with within the trust. So how does the trust make employer connections with businesses that are around you? Is it working with your children's parents where they are? How do you make those contacts?
So we have centrally at the core of this is what we call the Business and Employer Forum. So we have currently around 20 odd businesses who are at the core of our careers work. Roy is one member of that forum. We meet on a termly basis. And really, again, this is back to us talking about what we want to do and the businesses feeding back as to whether that's the right way to go, and us asking for help and for their advice. So we work very closely with that core of businesses. Beyond that, we simply stretch out, as you say, through parents, through networking, through cold calling people, and just generally building as much of a network as we can, because what we want to do is to get as many people in front of our students as possible. So we're starting now with the Gatsby benchmarks, having speakers in subject lessons on a termly basis, which is great because you can have half an hour where you can talk to students, have somebody talking about their role, talking about their career, and how it links back to the topic that was going on in the subject at the time. Really exciting stuff, and really brings the topic to life from a working point of view. So business connections are all over the place, and we've got a lot of them, and we use them for all sorts of different things. But it's really about making sure that everything that we do is about what it is, really the benefit to the business. We are building a pipeline of talent, but we need to make sure that that's the correct pipeline. That
embedding the careers education in the curriculum is something that a lot of schools and colleges find really difficult. It's not uncommon for it to be something that's tagged on as an enrichment, whereas within the Gatsby benchmark, it's very clear that it should be embedded. So that's fantastic. Roy, can I come back to you? What are there benefits to Airbus as an employer of being this closely involved with the careers programme, not just of the MAT, but the careers work that's going on broader in the Solent?
So yeah, I think there's two main benefits I can look at, and I think it was you, Lorna, who said that often businesses are saying that they don't see the right skills, and particularly what we call employability skills, in the students that come to apply for our jobs and our apprenticeships, and even as graduates, they sometimes don't have those skills. And as a business, we have a choice. We can sit there and complain, and nothing much changes, or we can actually do something about it. So the benefit for me is taking that message out about what is important for us as a business, what are our values. Why do we need problem solving? Why do we need communication skills? Why do we need leadership? Why would we expect our employees to be resilient? Given the last year, I don't think too many people have to ask why. And it's giving that context to the schools so that not only do they understand the skills, the kind of things that are on the board behind Chris there, but also the reason why, the behind it. So I think, you know, for me, the benefit is it allows us to get that voice to the place where it can have the most benefit. The other side for me is about, I talked about, you know, a bridge between education and business. And if we're to have that bridge, then I, as a business person, have to understand more about education and the constraints. And on the other side, you know, the people in the education sphere have to understand what I mean from a business context. So it's discovering about the constraints in education and how they might impact us. It's interesting because we build spacecraft in our facility in Portsmouth, and the amount of money, effort, expertise that we put into taking care of what we call our supply chain, the people who supply parts to us, equipment to us, you know, bits and pieces of hardware and software that all go into our satellites, all have to be ultra reliable, very well built and organized. And I think about schools as being my supplier of people. And, you know, one of our core values in the business, our people are our most important asset. So why wouldn't I get close to the supply chain for my people? And for me, that's one of the key drivers why businesses need to get involved. If people are important to them, then there's only one place those people come from generally, and that's the education system.
At which point, I think we've probably just, I think that's the perfect place to end. I think that's brilliant. Thank you very much, all of you, for your time.